Check it out. I got a workbench full of brand new parts. You know what that means? Rock Auto came through and we can finally start putting this Jeep back together like I've been promising for the last 2 videos. Alright, I've been promising you guys for a while now, so here we got new radiator hoses. When we did that, got that ready to go, you saw that last video. In here, we got the new canister, right? Yup. Miscellaneous heater hose. This bended one, here's the one we were waiting on. This guy right here, because it's got some weird bends to it. Thermostat housing, thermostat, water pump. You guys probably forgot about these. These are like from 2 videos ago. Those are the regulators. They finally got them in stock. So we got them on order. And we're going to get this thing together, get her out of here, get her used, man, because I'll tell you, I miss driving her. Some of this stuff's going to go back in, but right now I'm about to blow out this heater core and get the rest of the crap out of the water jacket around there. Blow all that crap out. And make sure we're good to go, which I should have already done, but I've been putting it off because I blamed it on parts. Now I can't do that anymore. So, yeah, here we go. All right, so blew out the heater core. Well, I used some, first I shop vac out in here, get all that crap out of there, and then blew everything through. So we're clear there, looks good, nothing's clogged up. Heater core is all good. Did the same with the radiator, I blew it out. And a little bit of water that was in there came out clean. This is what came out of the heater core. You can see that there. It's not bad, really. I'm just going to put a little bit of better light, maybe that'll work here. Just, yeah, it's just dirty water. So nothing clogged up in there. So that's nice to see. And so now we are officially on reassembly. When you change this water pump out, there's this pipe right here goes into this guy. So you take that out of the old one. It was all nasty. I cleaned it up, just shot some paint on it, and waiting for that to dry. Stick that in there, and a couple of little things I painted. I'm waiting to dry, and I think we're gonna go up because it's a nice little heater there. Wife and kid got me that for Christmas. Pretty dope. Main thing missing. I don't have any propane for it. Thought I did. I don't. It's getting cold down here. Tomorrow's supposed to be 52, which is kind of unheard of, I guess. But so that's the thing. We're gonna get this done tomorrow, and then wash her up, and then go cruise her around. And yeah, that's the plan. So I'm gonna go head up to the house, get something to eat, hose off for the night, relax, and get back after it tomorrow. See you guys then. All right, so raise your hand if you actually thought that plan was going to happen. Exactly. You got to have a plan, so you got something to deviate from. So we didn't get all that stuff done, but we did get, see here, we got all the new pressure canister in, all the new hoses, the heater control valve is in, all the hard lines are in. So this whole side here is done. We got to put the water pump on, thermostat, hook those up, and then get this side put back together. And then the front, bring it over here. We got a lot less parts over here, so that means they're going somewhere, right? We got this put together, so that's ready to go. Got the hoses here. We put that fan switch in also, which, where's that guy at? That little guy right there. Pretty simple, self-explanatory. Screw it in, plug it in. And we're getting stuff off of this because here's the old guy, right? In the trash. So that's what's up. Little heater, awesome. This shop's about 2,000 square feet. That little guy, it was 35 outside, and I had to actually take my jacket off and everything and turn it down to low. I'll tell you, it's good. So if you guys are in the market, Tractor Supply, it was on sale for like 85 bucks. I think it's back up to 100, but still worth it. So, well, that's where I'm leaving tonight because we got some stuff done and I just got real tired. So we'll get this closed up down here, head up to the house, get some shut-eye, and be back in the morning. All right, so like a lot of people, I started working on cars because of my pops. He was a mechanic when I was a kid, and, you know, took his work home with him sometimes, right? Because like most mechanics, you know, your cars always need work. It's just what we do. So one of the first jobs he had me do, and I thought it was so, you know, menial at this point, was to prep the area. We changed a water pump. You know, get all the old gasket off, sand it, and everything. I was like, whatever, right? But he kept coming over and inspecting it, like, nah, it's not good enough. Nah, it's not good enough. And finally it was good enough. My fingertips were, you know, but it was finally good enough. And I'm so glad he did that, because now every time I do a water pump or anything that has some kind of seal, I make sure of that. And because of that, I've never had one leak. You see a lot of guys, you know, with that friggin' blue schmoo or whatever, and they don't care. But yeah, he taught me a little better than that. And even though some of my friends tell me I'm a hack, I take that little stuff and make sure. So let me show you what how it should look before you put this all together. All right, guys, so just like we learned, right, when we were painting that Trans Am, prep work is everything, right? And it's the same with the mechanic work, man. So remember what those things look like before, right? Now they're spotless. You run your fingers on it like a baby's ass, right? That's how you want it. You know, so this way everything just adheres right. You don't want to mess around with this stuff, chasing leaks and crap after you put all this work into it. And after you put it back together, it's just not worth it. And speaking of old school, I mean, you guys remember that stuff? There you go. All right, see, we got the nice shiny new water pump in there. I just put a little film of the RTV stuff or whatever to hold the gasket in place so I put it on. That's all you really need. I'm going to do the same here with the thermostat I'm about to throw in. Something I didn't really talk about before is this is the older one, right? It's an 89, I mentioned that. That means it's got the Renix fuel injection. That means it's got the closed system, pressurized, whatever you want to call it, cooling system. And it all works great. Even as nasty as this thing looked, it didn't, you know, it ran fine, didn't overheat. But a lot of people will swap out into a more traditional, what do you want to call it, open cooling system, which I thought about doing. But it's been working some great since '89. So I said, why mess with it? However, getting this thing to burp correctly is a giant pain in the ass. So what a lot of people do, when I do, is, so you got the thermostat here, 1/16 inch bit, right about here. All right, 12 o'clock. See that? That's all you need. 1/16 hole. Just enough for the air to come out through there and get all of your stuff, because this is the only place you have. I mean, really, you put your coolant in through here, right? It's got to go through all this to fill the radiator, all that. So just a little bit helps out. Otherwise, you got to start it up, shut it down. It's almost impossible to do without it getting warm or hot or whatever. So yeah, here it is right here, man. Little tiny 1/16, 12 o'clock position, good to go. So we'll throw it in now. All right, check it out. Yo, this thing's almost empty. Remember how it looked before? Replacing that guy right there, nice cold beer pretty soon. So over here we got the cooling system done. Thermostat's in, thermostat housing, all the heater hoses are hooked up, upper and lower hose. Everything's good and tight. I threw the tensioner back on there. So it's all pretty kind of tight. If you look at all this stuff, you got to really be careful of clamp placement, because see, like this guy, if it was on this side, it would hit this. If this was over here, yes, you got to be careful. It's just something to be mindful of. So everything in this region here is going back in the Jeep. Stuff on this shelf, not so much. Thing is, I ran out of everybody's favorite cleaner, brake clean, and I want to clean all this stuff up before I throw it back in the Jeep. Because, I mean, that just makes sense. It's all looking nice, clean, all that, so why not? So, nothing's open right now, so we're going to shut her down for the night. We'll go head up to the house and, yeah, relax a little bit. And come back down here tomorrow morning. Actually, I think I'm going to do, I got to shoot over to the auto parts store, get some brake clean, and I can't forget about these guys. Look at this thing. Both of them. Just trashed. So I got to get battery cables, and what else I need? Brake shoes for the rear brakes, and that should be all I have to buy. And then just finish it, putting it back together. So, yeah. I kind of wanted to keep pressing on it tonight, but I don't want to rush it and put it together all nasty after I've already waited this long, right? Why not? Let's do it right. So, call for tonight. Be back down here tomorrow. Get her done. All right, guys. So I just pulled this off of the Jeep, and well, here's the top, right? Obviously, battery cable. This went over into a relay. And this is what I saw first, and I was like, wow, how did I miss that, right? And then I was like, okay, so I need a negative battery cable, no problem. Then I catch this right here, this, right where it kind of comes, look at this. So it runs, see how brittle that is, it's flaked right off, right? So comes into the same loom, this runs out to the block, this goes down to the starter. So if this is what you saw, this is what I saw, this is what I didn't see. It's doing the same thing, look at this, all the way up, just awful. And yeah, same here, brittle as can be, coming right apart. This is obviously a huge problem. This is under the Jeep, it gets wet, whatever, right? If you see anything starting to go bad, it's worse where you don't see, man, I promise you. And this is me, right? This is my fault. I don't know how this got this bad and I didn't see it. So, a little negligence on my part there. This has been sitting for a little while, and maybe that's what did it, but I don't know. So just make sure you're inspecting your stuff, because you don't know what you don't know. All right, like I said, I'm about to shoot over to the auto parts store, get those cables. I already measured those out, but now I got to measure the back brake. So I got a jack, put jack standing under it, about to pull the wheel off. And I've already found out the hard way that they can't just go to the auto parts store and give you the brakes like you usually do, I bet it was like 1993 again, and we had books that people read to get these parts. It'd probably work out, but we don't. We got computers, and I'm gonna leave it at that. So they got two different sizes, and I guess you can't go by model or whatever. I assume it's got the bigger ones just because it's a limited and it's got the bigger axle, but I could be wrong. I mean, it happens, right? So pull it off and measure it. I think it's either a 9 or a 10 inch, or maybe it's an 9 and 11. I forget, but we're about to find out. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little time lapse while I yank that off and measure it for you. You guys something to look at, a little, I don't know, whatever. Cool. All right, back from the auto parts store. Got some shoes. So I was right, the limited, or well, at least my limited, has the bigger ones. These are 11 by 2.12, and there was like a 9 and a 10. So yeah, got those. Was gonna get the hardware, they didn't have it. They'd order it. So I'll try and do it with this. If there's anything wrong with this, I'll just order it, and it's like $8. Grab some wipers because, well, these ones that are on here have been on here for 2 years, and I want to drive this thing, and it rains in Maryland, so there we go. Battery cables, black one, and yeah, for the power, oh, black one, you gotta love it, right? But they got the caps, so I'll put those on and I don't know, not be dumb about it, I guess. Trying to stop a little corrosion, and then all they had was this switch to start or whatever. It's the only one that had anywhere near that length, so make it a top mount. And then this was driving me nuts. If you guys saw it under the hood, it was rusted to crap for the master cylinder, and well, I had a wire wheel and some paint. Could have spent $5 and bought a new one, but who cares? And yes, that will be scratched the second I put that little thing on there. I don't care. It's better than rusted to crap. So I got about 30 minutes, and I want to get something done here. It's New Year's Eve. Promised the wife and kid we'd have a little movie marathon, some sushi, Chinese food. Gonna be sweet. So, well, I'm gonna change oil. Well, not change it, because you already watched me drain it. So I guess change the filter, fill it up with oil, and then set up there underneath there. I'm gonna put the O2 sensor in. Can get two little off the list, and I feel like I accomplished something. So I'll bring you into the Jeep and show you what's going on with that. All right, so here we are on the left side. You see that little white thing sticking out there? That's the O2 sensor. And what we got here? Let's look. Oh, that says there. Is that 22? 22 millimetric. That's it. And we'll, I already broke it loose and smashed my knuckle, so too bad I didn't get that on camera. But we'll pull it out and put the new one in. I'll bring it back here in a second. All right, guys, got the old one out, and you can see it's pretty nasty. The Jeep is a little hard to start. It cranks for a hot minute. Thinking this is why, because fuel injections all legit, all that kind of stuff. Everything else is new. This has been there. Well, I've had the Jeep 3 years, so there's that. The girl before me had 1.5 years. She said all she did was change oil, rotate tires. So there's 5-ish, and who knows how long before that. Yeah, so it's pretty freaking nasty. So I'm thinking that'll take care of that problem. These Renix Jeeps, they got they only got one O2 sensor. The newer ones will have 2. This one just has the 1, and the check engine light on it is caused by the box. And it's funny, it's little gears in it. It's all timed done, and it just pops on and says every X amount of miles, 50,000 miles or something, and it tells you that's just supposed to be read out your O2 sensor. So the light drove me crazy. I just disconnected the box, and I'll just change it because it's like $30, right? So when you go to put the new one in, got that here. You want to make sure, obviously the plug's the same, and this fits in there and all that, and then twist this on before you plug this in, because then you should tweak the wires all up. So there you go. I'm gonna throw it in right now. I'll be done with it. So I was telling you guys about this timer thing, right? Here it is. Check it out. It's just some gears, and it says it right on it. It says, where's that there? Emissions maintenance timer and the supplier. So every 2,760 hours, this thing is up, and it pops a check engine light. Tells you to read out your O2 sensor. I don't know how much this thing is, or if they even make it anymore. So for $30, I just throw a new O2 sensor in it. It takes like 9 minutes. So yeah, just here's a little bracket. It was mounted on the dash like that, and it plugged in right there. So if you got like a late 80s Renix as they call it, with the that's the fuel injection type, and you got a check engine light on, look under the driver's side dash by the fuse panel. You probably got this guy right there. Unplug it, light goes out. As long as your O2 sensor is good, nothing to worry about. Alright, so I swapped out the fuel filter, so I figured I'd show you guys where it is. It's here's the rear axle. So it's above the rear axle right there, big shiny thing right there. You got a mount bolt up top. Take that out. This folds down there, kind of swivels out. Usually there's a flow sticker on it or something, but there ain't nothing on this one. I guess it fell off or something. Obviously it flows this way. You got, there's your feed. This is going forward to the motor. This one is smaller than that one, so it's pretty much idiot proof. You can figure it out either way. But yeah, there it is. Pretty easy to change it out. Whenever you do, you're gonna want to have like a bucket under here, because no matter how much you relieve the pressure, it's gonna come out. You're gonna have a leak. It's gonna come. It's just, that's how it goes. So have some rags and a bucket ready, and eye protection if you're worried about that kind of thing. All right. Speaking of changing out the fuel filter, a couple things you want to do before you do that. This little guy right here. Take your fuel cap off. Release the pressure. And then you come over here to the front, and they're all on the fuel rail no matter what vehicle you're working on. Mine just happens to be right there. So it's a little valve, right? Like on a bike, right? Push a little guy in, bleeds the pressure out. Not a whole lot comes out, and hardly anything came out of mine because it's been sitting. But again, eye protection if you worry about that kind of thing. And I put a little rag there just to be safe. So that being said, check it out. This whole thing's all back together. It's all back together, ready to go, with the exception of the fan shroud and the electric fan. Because right here, you see those little guys, those little holes? It's supposed to have those little clips in there. They're gone. I don't know where they're at. I think they broke. I found remnants of them on the floor. And of course, it's later and everything's closed. So we're going to wrap it up for tonight. Tomorrow morning, I'll shoot over to AutoZone. Thought I was making the last trip. I guess not. We'll get those so I can mount that stuff in there and put this air box back together. See where you got fluids topped off. We're ready to go. Well, I still we got brake action going on. We'll worry about that tomorrow too, because I'm over it right now. So tomorrow morning, get the parts I need, the little clips I need here, put that all back together, knock out the rear brakes, adjust the parking brake, and we're ready to go. This thing's ready to go back on the road. So that's the plan. We'll call it for tonight, head up to the house, and yeah, that's it for me. Well, got it all together. Got the some screws in here. That's all on there. Air box all hooked up. All the vacuum lines are done. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm throw this battery in. And then I came over here and remembered that I yanked the battery cables out. So I knew I'd forget. Good thing I did it. Because, yeah, remember? Yeah. So, got some new cables over here. We're going to build them up, make them look like those. Well, minus all the corrosion and platform. We'll make them the same size. How's that sound? Yeah. And we'll throw them in a Jeep. And then, oh yeah. Well, over here we'll still be good though. Yeah, right on. Cool. All right, so got it all back together, 100% now. Didn't do a lot of recording. It was kind of boring, and you know, I mean, I put the battery cables in. I made them exactly the same as the ones that came out, so they kind of fell right in there. Ended up repainting this little bracket, and it was all corroded as hell, like anything around the battery. Got that done. You guys can see here, this has been, well, it's filled up now, but it keeps bleeding down. I keep filling it back up, which is good. That means it's getting into the cooling system, which means the bleeding process won't be that bad. Hopefully that hole we drilled should be aiding in that. Topped off the washer fluid. I mean, nobody cares, but the light drives me crazy when it comes on, so I did that. And brake fluid's topped off, and look, it didn't get all scratched up. I thought it was going to be trash, but yep, so we're good there. Everything on here is ready to go. And put the brakes all back together. Didn't record that either. You know why? Because look, we're still here. Yup, the brake. You're gonna find this hard to believe, but yeah, the chain auto parts store that I got those from, wrong size. Never see that, right? But, oh well. Luckily, these brakes were actually good. They were just way out of adjustment. So, I cleaned everything up in there, wire brushed everything, brake cleaned it. Took a little sandpaper, took the little glaze off of the drums and all that, and then adjusted it, put it back together, and then adjusted the parking brake. So we're all good there. We'll return those things and get a couple dollars back. I think I'm going to buy some beer with that because we're mechanically legit right here. Only thing left I got on this thing now, probably remember, maybe you don't, a couple videos back, the window regulators, the motors, it's all one thing. Got to get that put in. This one, the worm gear is trashed. That one over there, it just gets bound up. So no matter how much I cleaned it up, I don't know if you guys remember, I think it was the first Jeep video that was on. So we're going to do that tomorrow. And I'm going to call it a win. See you guys then. All right, I'm getting ready to throw this power window regulator, this thing here, and motor into this here. So I got a bunch of rivets, right? These two, so these three, these two at a minimum. These might have to come out. I'm going to figure it out. I think you can swoop it through without it, but it might just be easier to do it, so we'll see. But pretty easy lines up, right? Two there, three there, two there. Here's your worm gear. Here's my worm gear. That's the whole problem. Only thing I see different is this is ordered for the right vehicle, right ear and all that, but it's got a blade style connector where this has a newer style. No big deal. Looks like this is just on the motor. Cut it off, splice it in here, put a different pigtail on it. No big deal. Not going to record this whole thing because it'd be like watching paint dry, right? Just drilling all these out. So I'll drill them out, bring it back when it's they're all drilled out, and let you know if I got to take these off. So there you have it. All right. Who wants to guess? Do I have to drill it out? Actual answer? Mainly because I messed with it for like a second and a half and so forget it. All these other screws, well, the rivets I mean, they all drilled out so easy. I just knocked those out. Came out real easy. Didn't make a big mess, anything dead on center. Even was being safe. Yeah, man, those are safety glasses. What? However, all for naught. Because, well, not for naught. Yeah, whatever. I was going to obviously rivet these back in, right? 1/4-inch rivets. Not the easiest thing to find. That's what goes in these things. So here's the old one. New one, not so much. Easy day, drill it out. Trying to find 1/4-inch rivets in like Amish country on a Saturday night. Not going to happen. So, Tractor Supply's open though. What? Yep, got a whole bunch of nuts and washers and bolts and lock washers. So do that. I got to drill these out a little bit so they fit through there. Now some guys, if you look at this here, there's like a little lip, right? Some guys are throwing self-tappings in there. I mean, it's on YouTube. So, yeah, I don't know if that's legit. A little too hacky for my taste, so I'm going to use nuts and bolts with lock washers. I swapped this connector over. This is what you need, the newer style, whatever you want to call it. This was it had the blade on there. So I just took this off the old one, as you can see. Now, you can also see the wires aren't the same colors, right? You'd think, blue goes to blue. Nope. You could do that, but then when you push down on your button, your window's going to go up. And when you push up, it's going to go down. So, yeah, yellow goes to blue, blue goes to red, and I even did legit there. I soldered them and heat shrink them and all that stuff. So, we are good to go. So go ahead and put it back in, and I'll bring you guys back when it's done. All right, we got the door panels back on, and we cleaned everything out in here too, because, man, it was nasty. Quick wipe down. Armor all and all that kind of stuff. Got all that mold cleaned up. There was a little bit. Somebody spilled some in the back seat is what it was. So I cleaned that out. And yeah, we're all ready to go. And yeah. What else are we missing? I don't know. I guess we can make some noise, huh? We got I can't lie to you. I already started because I had to bleed the cooling system and I had to bleed the power steering pump and all that kind of stuff. But now that's all done. Fluids are all good. There are no leaks. Well, I guess I'll start again for you. Why not? My favorite part right here. There you have it. Everything's working. Power steering is awesome. No leaks yet. Perfect oil pressure. Charging. Well, there was some. It's not smoke. It's cold as hell out. This thing ain't started in a long time. You know, so that condensation and whatnot. But looks like I had to top off that coolant again, which is why everybody hates these closed systems. Well, move that stuff so I can take this thing for a ride. So I'm gonna get on that. Wish me luck. All right, guys. I topped that coolant off. Got the kid down here. He helped me wrestle those cabs out of the shop onto the side. Take this thing for a ride. Wish me luck. See you in a few. There you go. Flawless. Runs and drives great. Down the road straight, it always did, so it wasn't a concern. Brakes are perfect. Temperature is perfect. The alternator's charging. Perfect oil pressure. No, nothing that I would ever think is a blown head gasket. Plenty of power. And it just runs great. It always has. I love this little thing. I'd like to keep doing stuff on it. You guys tell me in the comments if you like it. It could use a set of shocks. So I'm not going to put stock stuff on there. I'm thinking I might as well lift it. If I'm going to do that, I might as well go wheels and tires. If we're going to do that, we probably need bumpers and rock sliders. And I mean, can't have all that without having a winch. And well, then we got to do gears. It's a whole thing, but I think it needs to be done. So let me know what you think. You'll see it on upcoming shows. Who knows when? I'm not giving no timelines. But yeah, like I said, these things are great. I used to have them. My dad had them back in the day. He worked at a dealership, and he used to get them for the winter. We'd go climbing power lines and ski slopes up in the Poconos, and it was great. So I got similar ideas for it. Let me know what you think. Till then, like, share, subscribe, ring the bell, tell a friend, whatever. Spread the word. Thanks a lot, guys. Catch you on the next one.